Good day, everyone, and welcome to IBTC Family TV. The program na Hope Alive. Yes, hope day. Tomorrow na the day where everybody don dey expect. From February 25th till October 25th. That is how many days that we need to calculate. Supreme Court has announced that they are going to end the presidential election 2023. Tomorrow is coming to an end. The die is cast. All the expectation, everything where we done dey talk. Now tomorrow, those things we go know whether the Supreme Court still dey supreme for Nigeria. So we come out today, make we for inform on that one and another one where they happen for US again. That one. Now person wey be say we fit call am Nigerian, where then they call Aaron Greenspan. In go tell court say he no be Nigerian no, and he no get extended relationship with Nigeria. But wetin dey happen to Nigeria consign am. Say Nigerians go suffer irreparable damage if FBI no release these documents immediately. Na urgent response na in that one be. These two major things now we go dive inside today. Today is another day where we say if then they tell you your heart go dey skip. Now today be 25th. 243 days from the day that Nigerians casted their votes for His Excellency Peter Obi. 243 days today. 8 months. And tomorrow is the D-Day. We can pray to Almighty God to hear our prayers. Did we do our own part? Did our lawyers do their own part? All these things now we will discuss today. With me to discuss all these things, I get Angel for studio. I get Princess for studio. And our own UC Maxwell go join us for Zoom to analyze all the legal things we be saying there inside. So welcome to IBTC Family TV.
Good day, my well-meaning Nigerians, my lovely and intelligent, obedient worldwide. Welcome. Tell your neighbor, say Hope Day. It is a pity that political criminals are ruling us in this country. If Tinubu is not disqualified tomorrow, it will be an irreparable harm to Nigerians. Welcome on board. Let's discuss.
Greetings to all well-meaning Nigerians and my fellow obedient worldwide. Welcome back to Hope Alive. The judiciary is duty-bound to protect the society's value system. And once the common man loses faith in the rule of law and the judiciary, it is threatened, the rule of law is threatened. And that means it now turns to be a commodity to the rich and the powerful. Is this the kind of society the Supreme Court wants Nigeria to turn into? It's left for them to decide. Well, join us as we discuss.
Yeah, so join us as we don't start this very conversation now. Whether you there for Zoom or you there for a comment section, make you give us a thumbs up for this thing so that other obedience go know say preparations day against tomorrow for Supreme Court. Now today we just receive that very particular confirmation and notification from Supreme Court say tomorrow na hearing day. Now judgment day conclusively for the 2023 presidential election. As una see am for una screen, the suit number there make you know be say and another this thing na dem come talk we dey talk another one because they no put whether Atiku Abubakar or whether na Peter Obi or whether APC or Tinubu, they no put for that very place. But as soon as see the thing come out from Supreme Court and suit number dey there, so and we don't verify the whole thing say na true. People they talk before say tomorrow and next tomorrow and next week say na it go happen, but we don't see how this thing is like a thief in the night. Bam! This thing just drop. As it just drop, everybody they run kitty kata. But it be like say he get one man where they see tomorrow, where see wetin happen. First of all, 3 days ago and 4 days ago, Bagam, this man like wetin then they call emergency motion to United States District Court, District of Columbia for Washington, D.C. That man na Aaron Greenspan. Now the man where they see tomorrow, he no say it go happen. If they do care, make them open up this FBI file. As we dey talk about wetin we dey hear this morning as the thing take start, now we come see say even the man still dey see next tomorrow. That yesterday evening wey be say this thing just dey trickle out, na him care again. He hit another one for a US District Court again. Bagam, he take the court say irreparable damage go happen to Nigeria. Kata there for Nigeria. He talk say criminal they are to become the president of Nigeria. Say in the appeal immediate production of FBI files. Say the court no consider different things. We will get to that very point. But wetin I dey bring una say, even when I dey small, then they talk American wonder. Even now, when I don't grow this old, I don't see the American wonder. Now, person where they another country. Now, they carry our matter for head. They rush, they go their federal courts for United States of America to prevent irreparable harm to happen to over 200 million people. He calls it Africa's most populous nation. Now, so in TikTok. But we get our own people here. Nobody do any PM since where we dey talk say time no day. Tomorrow, 9 be the D-Day. As on I see for screen, Supreme Court kitchen, there. On a fit follow me check wetin then they cook for inside there. On a fit follow me check. Because when they talk like this, and some people go talk say we dey preempt. No be say we dey preempt, but when we don't see the language where they come out from court, e get as e be. But make I come back for studio. As I come back for studio, I want make the conversation begin with Angel, because I know say this thing since morning, I see say her heart dey pound boom. As it dey pound like this, the thing they even show for the cloth. And not be only a myself, even Mazi of our own media, that is one of the obi that this thing. I see say Hindu broadcast today, and the broadcast were in there. The thing tire am. If him carrying cab go one side, he go carry and go the other side. He tire everybody, because as with the talk say make them come out FBI files. Now these people they jump 2 forms ahead. So Angel, you tell me say this morning say this thing wey be say e just come of a sudden. You talk say na preconceived arrangement, say dem don already dem don already get this very judgment ready myself. Say no be like say dem don go through the whole volume of document wey dem give them wey be days ago. Because as you tell me, you talk say the people wey they assign as panel, now 2 days ago, they assign them to become panels.
Of course, they didn't even, the thing is that they took Nigerians unaware, because they know that after this week, or before this week runs out, that US is going to release that, FBI is going to release the criminals of Tinubu. And they don't want that thing to happen. That's why they took everybody on. It's the same thing Samani, what's his name of the court?
That's Haruna Samani.
Haruna Samani. That is the same thing they did. That 5-man panel, that is the same thing they did. The same thing they did. They did all the documents, all the evidence that LP and PDP submitted. None. They didn't even go through anyone. Because even from their judgment, you will see completely that is technicalities that they use.
Okay, Angel, hold on 1 minute. We see what David Unde in talk for his own will come back. He said, I guess at the very least, I will get to tell my grandchildren that in 2023, because of some journalistic work I did as a private citizen, the Nigerian Supreme Court moved up its verdicts so as to protect a criminal with an impending FBI criminal record. Disclosure. Wow. And again, he just talked with the impending FBI criminal record disclosure. The something is that at least he said, I will tell my grandchildren.
Even his children self will hear.
That he has done journalistic work. Yeah. That is what he did. All the effort that he has put in, that those effort on itself is what prompted the Supreme Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to jettison and make it very sharply to this. You understand me? Yeah. So it's like even a trophy. You understand me? And it's just very, very appalling. Let's get
the fact that he's saying that because it means that for them to fast track their judgment because of what he has said, it's looking like he's posing as a threat to them.
Exactly.
Because the documents that are going to come out is obviously posing as a threat. They know that there's potential information, there's damaging information that will be released, and they cannot gamble the fact that if they leave it anytime longer than now, their plans, everything they've been planning all along will shatter just like that. So they just fast track. Because how can you tell me that in 2 days, the justices that they just put in place is already, they have read the whole cumbersome amount of documents given to them? It's not possible that they have read all those things to be able to give a proper judgment. So they are just trying to give the same wrong judgment that Hamani Samani Abi, that man. They are trying to do the same thing that they did in the PEPT court. They are trying to do the same thing now. And that is a point. That is disheartening
very
to watch.
Yes.
And like I said when I was in the beginning, is this the kind of society they want to build for their children? Is this the kind of society they want to build for their grandchildren, for the next generation that will come up? Is this what they want to tell them? This is what I'm handing over to you people to continue.
Okay. Joining us on Zoom, we have our own UC Maxwell. So Maxwell, let's get the Supreme Court Justice of Nigeria. You know, I was thinking that they're going to take the lifeline given to them by US court to save Nigeria. You understand? I know that the US judiciary, in the likes of Justice Nancy Maldonado and Justice Gilbert, extended a helping hand to the Nigerian judiciary to redeem themselves. But surprisingly, Justice Okoro wanted to play for the acted some stupid things by asking ignorant question. A question in which we know the answer. Now that they have just scheduled to have this very judgment for tomorrow, please tell me, what do you think we are up against tomorrow? Also, okay, I'll get to the other one of what is happening in the US, but let's look at what your anticipation of tomorrow will be.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kanu. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to everybody, wherever you may be listening from. Everybody in the studio, you know, it's a pleasure to be here once again. You see, what we are seeing in the current day Nigeria is an abuse on the provisions of the law. What we are seeing today is actually an insult to the democracy that we claim to practice. Now, what are the main issues that are before the court? Before the court, we have a case where a candidate or two candidates who ran on a joint ticket have been seen to be caught in the web of disqualification as provided under Section 137 of the 1999 Constitution, even Section 131 of the Constitution. Now, there have been efforts from the days of, the election petition tribunal down till today, where the case is before the court of the Supreme Court. The question is, are we expecting justice? What are, say you go look wetin dey on ground before you go talk wetin you dey expect for future. And what are the things that are on ground? What are the realities of what is on ground currently? The reality is that the Supreme Court is trying to be hasty. They are trying to be hasty in coming to conclusions and in coming to their judgment. Recall that these documents were all submitted and filed before the court, or are they trying to tell us that they already had this list ready since day one that these documents came? But you would agree with me also that the motion was moved only that was 2 days ago, for the Supreme Court to accept fresh evidence in this matter. I don't know how far they've gone in assessing the documents that were deposited before them. I don't know what are the efforts that they have put in to, see that they go through the entirety of this document. One thing must be said for the public to hear, for the general public to hear, which is that whatever the courts want to do, no matter how hasty they are trying to do this, it must be within the ambit of the law. If they deliver a judgment that defeats logic, that defeats legal reasoning, that defeats, jurisprudential conclusions, it would be a shame on Nigeria. I was here the other time on this program, that I think that was also 2 days ago, where I said categorically that what we have seen from the antecedents of the court, from the kinds of statements that we had from the Supreme Court, from what we saw from the Court of Appeal, it is only pointing to one direction. If the court is trying to make itself myopic, by limiting itself to stories that are told to it, rather than making an inquiry into the documents that have been deposited before the court, then we may have a problem going forward. Documents were dropped. The deposition is before the court. The documents which is showing the $460,000 for feature of Bola Tinubu, they've not been controverted. We also have the passport, the Guinea-Conakry passport of Bola Tinubu, which is showing that he has sworn allegiance to some other country. These are the issues. The laws are in favor of the disqualification. I wonder what is the logical conclusions that the Supreme Court will be giving to us, or to make us believe, or to make us understand why this person should be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I am not a prophet of doom, but I must say categorically that we are headed for doom. If we cannot look at evil and call it evil, if we cannot look at injustice and call it injustice, if we cannot look at a clear violations of law and call it what it is. I'm not going to preempt the decision of the court. Of course, I don't know what the court will be deciding by tomorrow, but it is our earnest desire that they decide in the favor of justice. Regarding the FBI case, some people have said that these are the reasons why they are simply fast tracking. There are many other reasons out there that you may want to point to, but the issue of the FBI case must be looked into circumspectly. We have a person who is sitting down in the position of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Such person, this person in question, has thousands of pages of criminal records. In the confines of the FBI, the CIA, several criminal organizations in the United States of America. And this is the reality. Be blackmailed.
Okay, I think Maxwell is having some technical issues. Maybe you need to unmute. Mike, can you hear me? I think we're having some technical issues with Maxwell, but when he comes back, we'll go. So Angel, coming back to you, why it seems like we are preempting, like some people seem to think, is we are not actually preempting. We are looking at what transpired on Monday, just 2 days ago in court, where Justice Okoro actually or surprisingly, in a quest to confuse the ordinary Nigerians, he make a fool of himself and show the world the kind of person that he represents. Because obviously, asking the kind of question he did
that
in that
even
very
a primary school student
is,
can
I mean, is what we are.
There is a tweet. Jackson Ude even tweeted about that.
Okay, let's take a look at what Jackson Ude had to say.
Yeah, he said, I would like to read it out. He said, for Justice Okoro and Co., it is DNA results versus birth certificate.
Exactly.
Justice Iyan Okoro, the lead justice in the Supreme Court, handling the 2023 presidential elections, told Nigerians yesterday, that on Monday, that while Atiku Abubakar brought fresh evidence suggesting Bola Tinubu forged his certificate, Tinubu, on the other hand, also presented a letter from the Chicago State University to confirm he attended and graduated from CSU. What is apparently before Justice Okoro and his colleagues is a result of a DNA test showing true parents. In this case, the transcript of the deposition of Chicago State University officials from Atiku and a birth certificate confirming birth and name of parents different from the one on a DNA from Tinubu. What should be accepted, a DNA test result or a birth certificate? The Justice Okoro led Supreme Court panel have the easiest job to do.
Exactly.
This analogy is just very, in fact, this is the best analogy he just used
like
to describe
somebody
this.
who is having
a DNA result
and is having a birth certificate. So, what will you rely on? How can a judge compare a deposition to a letter written by a university and declare them contradictory? A deposition ordered by a superior judge that forces you who wrote the said letter to speak under oath to denounce the said letter. Let me just define what deposition is to Justice Okoro in case he had forgotten. A justice of the Supreme Court. Definition of in law is a legal proceeding where a witness is questioned under oath by the opposing party's attorney outside of a courtroom setting. A deposition can be done anywhere, including the bathroom or even if you are in the toilet, you know. It need not be as far as clerk of court. As far as clerk of court is available to take down the testimony. Yeah, of course, you can discard the earlier. It must go on because there is a clerk of court who is taking record of the deposition. Is it not funny that a justice of the Supreme Court is comparing a letter denounced by the same owners of the letter when deposed under oath to a court deposition ordered by a judge like himself? The Nigerian Supreme Court has been given a lifeline to sustain the Constitution of Nigeria by the United States Court. Is Maxwell back on so that we can have his input on this? And let's hope that the network is stable so that he can, you know, lend his voice on why we are feeling this way. Yeah, Maxwell, can you hear me?
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you. I said, is it not funny that a justice of the Nigerian Supreme Court is comparing a letter? And we are now saying, if you have a birth certificate and you have a DNA result, will you sincerely be looking at a birth certificate or you will be dealing with a DNA result? What will you deal with as a grown-up and a senior justice of the highest level in Nigerian judiciary?
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Kanu. You see, like I said some other time, I said that any document can be deposited before the court. So they can decide to drop a letter, they can decide to drop a deposition, they may decide to drop anything whatsoever they please that they think is very important for them to drop or deposit before the court. The issue is which of the documents is answering the question. That is the major thing. If you are dropping a birth certificate and you are dropping a DNA before a person and you are trying to know the paternity of that person, you are trying to know the biological composition of the person, and then you want to refer to the birth certificate, then you'll be mistaken. Here, what we have before the court, be the letter or whatever it may be, against the deposition, the question is, which of these documents answers the question about the certificate? I said that the law is clear, categorical, it is express, it is unambiguous, it is non-debatable that once you present a certificate that is forged to INEC, you cannot hold office of the president of Nigeria. That is the law. So when you look at the letter, when you look at the deposition, which of them is telling you that the document is real or it is forged? The letter is telling you that this person is the student of the school. Nobody is questioning you as to your studenthood. Nobody is questioning you whether you graduated or not. Nobody is questioning your mannerisms, how good you were in school. Because I've said it here that even if you fail your WAEC, the WAEC result is still enough for you to use it in getting, into school. I'll be getting the office. But the question is, does the CSU deposition show categorically that indeed this result is forged? And the answer is yes. When you look at the document, the question is, this certificate, CSU, did you present this certificate to Bola Tinubu? They answered no. Do you know this certificate? They said no. Did you sign this certificate? They said no. Did you certify this certificate? They said no. Does this certificate look like what we have in your files as it relates to the documents that were deposited, that were issued in 2011 in CSU 11, CSU 12, as it relates to reordered certificate? The answer is no. Everything is no, meaning that the certificate is forged. So the court should be intelligent to know that even Nigerians are not stupid. We are not stupid. We are not foolish. We know the laws. The people, first of all, interpret the laws, and when the people cannot interpret it well, when there is a dispute as to the interpretation of the law, that is when we approach the court. So the law is clear and the people understand the provisions of the law. Is the document forged? So these are the things. So the court should actually know what document to choose and what you should not choose. All documents are before the court, but let it choose the document that duly answers the question of forgery. And I must state, Mr. Kanu, a lot of people have carried out these crazy rhetorics that for you to prove forgery, that you need to prove it beyond reasonable doubt. It is a blatant lie. That is not what the provisions of our law says. There is a case that was delivered, judgment recently, even by the Supreme Court, where it said that in the in the petition tribunals, in election cases, the issue of forgery is neither a criminal case or a civil case, because even election petitions are sui generis. They are a litigation on its own accord. So you cannot even call forgery in an election case a criminal case or a civil case. The facts are very clear. Is this document forged? How do you prove? The issuing university needs to say, okay, I issued or I did not issue. And CSU have said, I did not issue. So this entire argument of, forgery being a criminal case and must be proved beyond reasonable doubt, it is actually a smoke screen, and it is only targeted to misdirect the general public. It is a lie. It is not our law. And the court have held this. I don't have the judgment name in my head, but I'll provide it. I'll even tweet about it very soon. So these are the realities. And I do hope that the Supreme Court can stand by the provisions of the law and uphold our 1999 Constitution.
Very, very well spoken. And we have, I see, say, NJ, your mother, they do quickly, please.
Yes, so the thing is so appalling. It's so appalling, so heartbreaking. Anyway, let's see what Jackson Ude said. Those sick Nigerians. Some Nigerians are so sick, they don't even know it. How can you be celebrating attempts by Tinubu to shield his criminal past and you think you are well upstairs? First, he fought to shield his academic records, claiming releasing them will cause him irreparable damage. You held him. You are sick. Unfortunately, he failed. He got exposed for the forger that he is. Then came back the 6 agencies of the United States, including the FBI and the CIA, planning to release his criminal past. Again, Tinubu mobilized his lawyers to block. You are again Helen. You are sick. And again, he is going to fail to stop the release. And you will see all the criminalities of the man who has stolen the presidency of Nigeria. When that is done, you can continue to hail him. It will confirm one thing, that Nigeria has been captured by criminals and their disciples hiding under a political party called All the Progressive Congress, APC. Condemn evil, expose criminals, no matter who they are. You are only making the society a better place.
Yes, so society will be better when Nigerians do know. Bag of rice, 50-something thousand naira. We have several other fuel, several things going up the way they are. To make Nigeria a better country, over 200 million people, is Supreme Court to do the right thing tomorrow. Let's take a look at what is happening at the US, because we know that one man is fighting a battle. Yes, he has support of David Hundeyin, but in his filings, we can say what he presented is that he's doing that by himself. Yes, he might have support from David Hundeyin. Let's take a look at how hard he is fighting at this United States District Court and the District of Columbia. Let's take a look at the legal documents that he just files, prompting the United States Court to take action on a matter in another soil. Now, his name is the one that is up there. It's not even Nigeria. So let's start with this. He said, pursuant to the Federal Rules and Civil Procedure 60B, Plaintiff Aaron Greenspan of the Plain Sites moves the court for an order granting Lily from the October 23 Memorandum of Order. And he cited the order denying plaintiff emergency motion for hearing to compel immediate document production. That is the one he just did. Although the immediate need for a hearing is now moot, given that to the best of a plaintiff's knowledge, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has already finished its scheduled proceedings on Monday, October 23, 2023. A number of material errors in the court's apparent reasoning required correction in the record, as this case may proceed to appeal. And such correction may influence the court's further analysis of this case. In lieu of a hearing, plaintiff requests that the court require defendant that at least issue an updated status report within 48 hours concerning the status of intended documents production. By the time we continue to the next, you see, but what is Aaron Greenspan telling us on the United States Court? He's saying things are moving so fast in Nigeria, and he's asking them to do this between 48 hours so that they can give all the documents that we are talking about. Now, these are the factual background. He said, this lawsuit was filed on June 12, 2023 by plaintiff Aaron Greenspan, from United States citizen who runs Plain Sight, a legal transparency initiative. Plaintiff filed a First Amendment complaint on August 28, 2022, pursuant to Federal Rules of Civil Procedures. And on September 11, 2023, the parties filed a joint status report outlining defendants' claim to produce thousands of pages of documents in aggregate starting at the end of October 2023. Defendants filed an answer to the FARC on September 11, 2023, except for Defendants Central Intelligence Agency, that is CIA, which filed its answer on September 27, 2027, due to the Supreme Court of Nigeria's sudden change in scheduling for proceedings related to Tinubu's election. Plaintiff filed an emergency motion for hearing to compel immediate document production on October 20, 2023. Early in the morning on October 23, Tinubu filed a motion to intervene. In the evening of October 2023, the court ruled on the emergency motion denying relief sought by the plaintiff. Now, he has his legal argument, and that is the legal standard. And he sets on and on and on. I want to get to the point where he clearly tells the court that it is irreparable damage is coming to Nigeria if court did not change its position. And the rule within 48 hours, given this, releasing the information to the Nigerian public. He made it very clear, so I want to get that very point. He said, in this very place, the court, okay, let's take it very fast and go quickly to that so that we don't hold on to several this thing. Okay, let's even start from the likelihood of the success of the this thing. Let's start where the merits are. So the court order stated that the plaintiff has failed to even to attempt to argue how his request may overcome the exemptions and all of that. But to make these very things to work very, very sweetly, I need us to get to the point where he says, okay, this is where I'm talking about. I'm talking about the irreparable injury. Somebody in the United States court is pleading for the court in United States to release a document so as not to cause harm to over 200 million people in Nigeria. So let me start. He says, although it is likely that this injury has already transpired, the people of Nigeria are those most likely to be irreparably harmed by the failure of defendants to produce the requested Freedom of Information Act materials prior to a decision by the Supreme Court of Nigeria to the validity of the February election. This is the area I want all obedience and well-meaning Nigerians worldwide to see what Aaron Greenspan is presenting to the federal court in the US. That irreparable harm by the failure of the defendant to produce the requested Freedom of Information Act material prior to a decision by the Supreme Court of Nigeria as to the validity of the February 2023 Nigerian presidential election. Tinubu's alleged criminal background is reportedly a major factor being considered by that court, which is the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Even though plaintiff does not represent the Nigerian public or anyone beside himself and has little in the way of any direct connection to Nigeria, the court errs in assuming that irreparable injury must accrue to plaintiff directly. Must accrue to plaintiff directly.
As its order suggests. Based on scientific studies, declarations from experts, and other evidence in the record, the district court concluded that there was, in fact, a dead certainty of irreparable injury to the environment, and that this injury outweighed any possible harm to the Navy. Emphasis added.
Now, okay, thank you very much on that. I don't take water, come back. Plaintiff's argument concerning irreparable injury is akin to an argument that the physical environments will suffer harm because the political environment in which every person lives inevitably suffers when world leaders conceal their history of crimes for which they have never been held to account. For example, this court is more than familiar with the impact of President Donald J. Trump. We know that Donald Trump, who was indicted repeatedly in the past year for concealing crimes dating back decades on the American and global social fabric. Of course, the physical environment may suffer as well. Given Nigeria's status as an oil-producing nation and Tinubu associated policies on oil production and environmental protection relative to other possible leaders of Nigeria, plaintiff does have a limited interest in Nigerian stability, insofar as plaintiff has been directly affected by Nigerian cybercrime, both through his family and as an investor. Let me hold it there and come back. This man is bringing the weight of everything around Nigeria. He said he is not a Nigerian, but he is affected by what will happen in Nigeria. And what goes down on that very transcript is something that he visualized that has happened to him. He tells a gruesome story about what happened to him, happened to his family, you understand me, through Facebook and all of those things. So he's trying to paint a picture of what will happen in Nigeria that will even translate above Nigeria to even touch people in the United States of America. You can imagine what this man is feeling. And as you recall, yesterday, David Unde tweeted something about him being sick and being in the hospital. These are symptoms. Exactly. You understand me? These are symptoms. These are like, you know, when you feel like a ghost is coming and then you have some goose bombs, you know, those kind of stuff. This is what is happened to Aaron Greenspan. Aaron Greenspan is a strong man, which all Nigerians, no matter what happens tomorrow, should be commended, which we believe that tomorrow, being the last day of the presidential election 2023, is a day that we'll hear what the what justices and democracy in Nigeria is all about. As Maxwell said, we may not want to preempt them, but we want to bring you something you need to listen from Atahiru Jega, Professor Atahiru Jega, somebody who has been on INEC, somebody who knew what happens at INEC, who has told us something that you need to listen to just for 1 minute. Let's take a listen to Atahiru Jega.
What failure was experienced on election day with regards to beavers? The major failure, as I said earlier on, relates to the uploading of information as promised by the chairman on the IREV. You know, and I believe that we need to interrogate why that uploading, specifically with regards to presidential elections, failed. Okay, this needs to be done not just in-house by INEC, but in a very, very transparent manner. And I think that there will be a lot of revelations, in my view, as to what exactly happened in order to be able to properly apportion blame as to who is responsible for what happened that day.
Professor Atahiru Jega here is still saying that we have not even questioned what happened on the 25th of February in the upload of the presidential election result. That it has not been questioned, and that that we should go outside of what the INEC has said, that no inquiry has even been instituted, and he said when that is done, it will expose a lot of things that is unimaginable. We heard him. He has been there and he knows what goes on. So, Maxwell, just very quickly, can you tell us, given that this Aaron Greenspan in the US is fighting so hard for the release of these FBI files that they already ordered and agreed that they are going to produce, but I sense what he have, I just read out what he said about irreparable harm coming to Nigerians if this is not released within the next 48 hours, that Nigerians are going to suffer for the next 4 years.
Well, Mr. Kanu, it's very clear that all of these cases have a nexus. They are all linked up in the sense that when you look clearly at what is on ground, that a person like Bola Tinubu was affirmed to become president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and he has resigned. And when the Court of Appeal, all of these baggages is sitting in the position of power. Now, what Greenspan is saying there categorically is that since we know that there exists a lot of criminal documents against Bola Tinubu, since we know that these documents are within the possession of the FBI, the CIA, and several other organizations in the United States of America, it is very important for them to release these documents as quickly as possible so that the general public will be aware, so that the court will be aware, so that every person, well-meaning Nigerian and foreigners, wherever across the world, would see the person who is sitting down in the position of power, the person whom it is likely that the court may affirm. So this is the reason why he's telling the court to fast track the release of these documents, because it would be an insult on Nigeria. It would be, I don't know, it will make us morally bankrupt. It will make us be looked at by the other world as a country without morals, without law, and without anything, that a person with such criminal records can be president in the 21st century, in a time as this. And it should actually be an irreparable damage. You would agree with me, Mr. Kanu, that we are already seeing the damages, not just what is going to happen in the future. We are already seeing the damages today, that so many Nigerians are made to go through several tests to ensure that their documents were not forged. So many Nigerians are, humiliated at different airports across the world. So many Nigerians are made to go through, unhealthy treatment by consulates and, other countries, even in neighboring African countries here. We are being dehumanized, victimized, harassed, just because a person who is not worthy to be the class captain of a primary school has been given the position of power to be president of the most populous black nation. So irreparable damage is already there. It's already happening. How much is dollar today? 1,400 naira. It's unfortunate. At the parallel market, you are doing exchanges and all of that. How much is diesel? How much is fuel? And these are the realities. So the irreparable damage already exists, but it will be monumental if the Supreme Court goes ahead to affirm this person, or if the United States of America, the courts, do not release these documents in time for the people to know who is about to subvert the will of the people. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And NJ, I see when Maxwell they talk, your mother they do more. So Maxwell, thank you very much, and let's get back to the studio here and take it from here.
Yes, so because all eyes are on Inyang Okoro because everybody is expecting him to do the right thing, to do the needful. Let him write his name in gold. Over 200 million Nigerians are depending on him to do the right thing. Judge it with constitutional, not based on technicalities. Even our own comrade Aisha said it. Let's take a listen.
Hello everyone. The drama has started. Supreme Court, yeah. So we are watching. Nigerians are watching. The whole world is watching. It's watching the Supreme Court. Already there's this case where I think they say there's a justice who is saying, yeah, it seems as if the let me read out something from someone's Twitter handle to Oseaneni says, the good thing about the Supreme Court appeal, one of the justices appeared to agree that the latest CSU deposition does indeed disavow the diploma Tinubu submitted to INEC. The bad thing, he said, another justice says no such letter was issued, then refers to issues of national unity rather than issues of law, raising obvious concern. What unity? What national unity are we talking about? Unity of poverty? Unity of killing people? Unity of bad governance? Unity of lack of transparency, lack of rule of law? Unity of impunity? Unity of unemployment? Unity of destruction? What unity are we talking about? I want to see this unity. Unity that has not helped any region in Nigeria. How are we going to say because of unity we are not going to do justice? Unity is not sacrosanct. But you see this justice, rule of law, very much sacrosanct. And it has to be followed. So what's this talk about unity and all of that? We are talking about someone forging certificate, a criminal, being in the number one political seat in the office, and you're talking about unity. Then why do we even have justices then? Then let us have the unity, leave the place, open the prisons, let criminals come out, let it be survival of the fittest. Let us be ruling anyhow since we don't want to have head. I don't understand for us. Here.
We don't hear from our own comrade Aisha. But before we go, all well-meaning obedience worldwide, wherever on a day, make una for like and share this very video so that other people go know wetin dey happen tomorrow. Make them they follow us. We go there live. We go show the thing as they happen, and anyhow when they want to do am, we go follow them, show everything as it take be. Make we take this one for the last time from our own His Excellency Peter Obi, wetin he talk about the rule of law and the credibility of leadership. Says still on the identity crisis and controversies that continue to haunt the Nigerian center of power since the February 25th, 2023 presidential election. Say there is this saying, it is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. The lofty titles that decorate people in power have little meaning if there is a hollowness and falsehood underneath them. Such titles, which are done those in public office, mean nothing if they are not original and are fake if those who bear them have no honor to support the weight of the titles they carry. In situations where there is public doubt as to the veracity and the authenticity of these titles and the claims behind them, it is the judiciary's role when called upon to uphold the honor of the titles through transparent rulings. Only through such judicial interventions can the public be protected from the tyranny of dubious and duplicitous characters and identity fraudsters. In such situations, the judiciary has a bounded duty to protect society's value system. This is so of the obligations of the Supreme Court. With that very one, I go once tell una say, make we come back, make I hand over, because the talk where our own His Excellency talk here is plenty. If I continue, time where they give us signal no go allow us to even finish. But it remains the foundation for all our fundamental rights as humans. It is the rule of law. With that one, I go carry mic, give Angel make she for tell us, make we dey carry our kaya to prepare against tomorrow, the 26th day of October 2023, the day that the presidential election will end. Angel.
Thank you so much, my well-meaning Nigerians, my lovely and intelligent obedient. There is an adage that said, good name is better than riches. Justice Inang, this thing is going to you. Good name. Don't do as Samani did. Because you see this money, when you people are done accumulating it, you will leave it behind and go one day. But you see that good name, it will go on. When you dent your image today because of paper, naira, dollars, you will not live to tell the story. Your bad name is there. It can never be erased. All eyes on the Supreme Court tomorrow. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate you. We love you. Like, share, subscribe. Thumbs up to the video. Do your own evangelism. Make other people here say, na tomorrow be the D-Day. Where we go know say, whether Justice Inanga in 7-man panel go write their name in gold, abi they go put them for mud, as Samani did. We appreciate you. We love you. But God loves you more. Bye for now.